Hey everybody, Jonah Fox here. In today's video, we are going to continue the Harmonica Blues Basic Series. This is part 2, and we are going to go over the blues scale. Essentially, the building blocks of the blues, the pattern of notes that you can learn so you can actually improvise on your own and not just learn what other people have played. It sounds like this. And that's what we're going to learn today together. If you're one of those people where improvising using scales is just something that hasn't clicked yet, I really suggest that you stay till the end of this video, where we are going to learn the scale and then also practice it in the context of a 12-bar blues progression, building upon what we learned in last week's video. So if you're ready for that, let's go and get started. All right, welcome back, guys. Jonah Fox here with the Harmonica Revolution. Last week, I introduced the 12-bar blues chord progression and taught you how to follow those changing chords. And if you didn't catch that video, you should consider going back and checking it out. That video will be linked above and also down below in the description. Check it out. All right, let's go get started with today's lesson. So we're going to be talking about the blues scale. So here's the first big thing that I want you to understand, okay? The blues is a language. The blues scale is just how we communicate in that language. Just like in English, when we're kids, right, we learn letters and we learn words and we turn those words into sentences and we use those sentences to talk, right? Very basic. And you're also, at the same time, listening to what others are saying and modeling them, emulating what they're doing. And then you just get a lot of experience speaking until you sound fluent. And playing music, and the blues in particular, is very similar. So using musical terms, we need to learn the right scales to play, and then we learn licks, which are short musical phrases like and riffs, which are something a little bit more complicated, something that can stand on its own. It could be as simple as... We learn these things to emulate what other players are doing, and then we practice. We do a lot of practice with our own scale knowledge, the things that we've learned from others, and that turns into our own musical style, okay? The scale we need to learn to play blues music is the aptly named blues scale. And it's not always that simple in other genres of music. If you want to learn reggae, there's no reggae scale, okay? So in this case, it is a little bit more straightforward. We're playing the blues, we use the blues scale. Okay, guys, let's go work through this scale. We're going to start with the root note of G, which is 2-draw. Okay, so that's the first note in the scale. Should be pretty easy. The next note is a little bit more difficult. It is 3-draw, half-step bend. Now, this note will take a little bit of effort to hit it consistently and mostly in tune. Harmonicas are kind of pitchy as a whole, so I wouldn't expect to be perfect. But just work on this with a tuner if you're still working on your bends. I have some videos about bending you can find on my channel as well. All right, the next note is 4-blow. You should remember this as being the root note of the 4 chord that we talked about in last week's video. Okay, after that, we have the blue note. That's 4-draw, half-step bend, okay? We call it the blue note because it is the note that makes blues music sound like the blues. I mean, it's one of the things that makes it sound like the blues, but it's what differentiates the blues scale from the minor pentatonic scale, okay? So that's the blue note, 4-draw, half-step bend. And then that moves up to 4-draw. Now, one thing I want to pause on for a second here is that 4-draw, half-step bend, that blue note, we are generally using that as a passing tone. Essentially, we are moving through it to hit another note, like... It's something you use a lot, but you generally don't hold on it. But all the other notes you do, okay? So we have 4-draw, which is the root of the 5 chord, right? And then we finish the scale with 5-draw. And then we hit the octave at 6-blow. Okay, that is the middle octave of the blues scale. Let's do it one more time just to make sure that we get this down. Here we go, 2 draw, 3 draw half step bend, 4 blow, 4 half step draw bend, 4 draw, 5 draw, and 6 blow. If this is a new concept to you, I suggest you pause the video right here and you just practice this. Get some time in, okay? Because you need to be able to play these at least at slow half notes to be able to play the exercise we're doing later on today. Hey guys, really quick, I got something for you. It's called the Blues Harp Toolkit. It is something I put together that's a collection of tools and references for you that you can print out, have in front of you, and use while you're playing the harmonica. We have collections of scales, chord progressions, backing tracks that you can access that have all been grouped together by position and key for a C harmonica, and a tool to help you work out what key harmonica you should be using when playing over certain kinds of music. This is going to be really helpful for you guys, and if you haven't seen it yet, then I really suggest that you check this out. You can get access for free by clicking the link down in the description. Get on that. As I said before, we're also going to do the low octave, so let's learn that really quick, okay? So we have 2 draw, and we got a big bend here. This is a whole step draw bend, so 2 whole step draw bend. After that, we have 1 draw, and then the blue note, 1 step draw, 1 draw, half step bend, and then we end on 1 blow. So I hope you notice something here. 1 blow going to 1 draw, it's the same as 4 blow going to 4 draw. And they both have that blue note there, right? So that means those chords we were tracking in the 12-bar blues that we did last week, the 1, the 4, and the 5 chords, they can also be followed on the low range of the instrument as well. I hope that makes sense, right? Because the root of the 4 chord, right, which, you know, we have the 1 chord, which is the 2 draw. And then we said last week, when we goes to the 4 chord, we would play 4 blow using what we learned previously. But now that we know the 1 blow is the same as the 4 blow, we could just do that instead. Going up to the 5 chord, 4 chord, 2 draw. Okay, so those concepts there connect. I hope you can make sense of that. Next, we're going to play using these scales over a backing track. But if this is helping you, consider subscribing to the channel. If you do, and you hit that red subscribe button, also hit the bell for notifications. So when I upload, you'll get a notification on your device so you don't miss anything. All right, guys, now that we learned the scale, let's get some additional practice. We are going to try this scale in a very kind of defined set way with a 12-bar blues progression. And it's going to be an exercise that you can practice on your own to improve your muscle memory and your ear. So let's go give this a shot. Let me show you what I have set up here. So this is the 12-bar blues. We worked on it last week. This is using Roman numerals. Now the blue Roman numeral there is a 1, and then we have 4 in red and 5 in white. Now in last week's video, we were just tracking these changing chords, but we're going to do something a little bit different this time, but we are still playing over a 12-bar blues. We are going to be tracking not the chord changes, but the scale, and then come back to chord tracking in the last 4 bars, which is especially useful in getting the notes in the lower end of the harmonica on holes 1 and 1 draw to match up with those changing chords as well. So here's what we're going to play. This is the middle octave of the blues scale. And what we're going to do in the first 4 bars, we're going to be going up the scale using half notes. It sounds something like this. So that is the scale ascending. And in the last measure there, we're just holding on to that note. When I use that tilde sign, I mean that as a held note using my system of tabs. And in the next 4 bars, we are going to be going down the scale, ending on the 2 draw. And then the last 4 bars, as I said before, we are going to be tracking those changing chords, just using the root of those chords on 4 draw, 4 blow, back to 2 draw, and then 4 draw. So I am going to demonstrate this for you once with a backing track, and the links to the backing track I'm using will be down below in the description. But again, this is an exercise. You can take this and you can apply it to any 12-bar blues backing track that you can find in any key. You just got to get the right harmonica to match. So let's go try this. Here we go. You can play with me or join the second time around. Go again. Awesome. Now, just like we did on the middle part of the scale, we are going to work on the low octave. Now, because there are less notes here, we're going to go down this scale to the 1 blow and then back up, ideally to the 2 draw. So we're doing that in the first 4 bars, the second 4 bars, and the last 4 bars of the 12-bar blues. We are tracking the chord changes, but this time, instead of using the notes that we were doing before, we are going to be tracking the chord changes using the lower octave notes in this part of the scale. So let's try this. Same as last time. Here we go. Again. All right, guys, I hope this way of scale practice works for you. Hope it was helpful. So the goal here is not just to play like this as an exercise, and that is a good way to practice, but the overall goal is to internalize not only the muscle memory of playing the scale, but also the sound, so that you can more naturally create musical phrases just like you were talking, okay? So just like a language, you need lots and lots and lots of practice and, memorization work. So go ahead, get some practice in, just put on a backing track. And also YouTube has the function, if you're playing a backing track on YouTube, to slow the speed down. So if what I introduced today was a little too fast for you, or if when you're trying it, it's a little fast, you can slow down the playback speed to 75% or even half speed to make sure that you're keeping up with the music. So I really suggest that you try this. It's really going to help you. If you do this, even a couple times this week, it's going to really be a game changer. I hope you give this a shot. Next time, we're going to learn a collection of short blues licks to spice up your playing. And, it's time for me to do some jamming myself. So I will catch you next time, guys. Peace. See you later.